On this episode, we talk about the most magical last-minute trip as we headed down to finally try and attend this year's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. Let's see if we did. Today's October 22nd, 2024, and this is episode 713 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Ready for your next bucket list trip? Our trusted partner, MEI-Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today.
So I feel like this has been a long week. I feel like we haven't recorded in a while, and I know you've been having guests and stuff, but it's so weird when I'm like expecting to sit down on like a Thursday, Friday.
We haven't been here on a Thursday.
I know,
well,
and that's what I'm saying. So it's been a week.
It's just been a weird month.
It has been very strange.
It's still October, right?
It is.
Okay. When's Halloween? Is that coming up?
That
still?
is coming up.
Oh, okay. I was worried. I missed it because it's been so crazy.
That is coming up not this Thursday, but the next Thursday.
Well, let's get ready.
We are ready.
We are ready now. Well, I think everybody. So this is an unplanned episode in a lot of ways because
yes, it is.
This wasn't anything. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. First of all.
So should we go back to behind the scenes of last week when the hurricane came through and we did not go?
Yeah. Well, I know we talked about that some.
Did we?
Right?
And did we
A little
say
bit.
that I was like thinking, because Jeremy was like, what are we going to do? Or I was like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you know what I would want to do. And I just kind of kept thinking and
well, this was
well,
here. Hold on. Let's fill everybody up because first of all, it has been just a crazy month and a lot. Because of the hurricanes and all that obviously had come through, 2 Halloween parties canceled for us. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yep.
If you've read the title, then there won't be much of a surprise, I don't think, of the episode. But I think the Halloween party for us is what really signifies Halloween season.
Yeah.
We decorate the house pretty early. The house is decorated in September. Right? We didn't go quite as early this year. We usually decorate when Disney does, but we weren't going to do that August 1st or whatever the heck
Jeremy
it was.
was sick of it the last year.
I got sick of it last year, so it can kind of outstay its welcome. But normally I think for us, just doing the Halloween party is what really gives that Halloween feel. And it doesn't signify that Halloween's over. I think for me, it's almost the beginning.
Okay.
Now, normally we've done it a lot earlier. We'll actually do it in August or September. Yeah. Halloween Horror Nights now, we did just over a month ago. That feels
crazy.
Like it was last year.
Yes.
So
I
it's
agree.
just been crazy with our scheduling and all that stuff. So if you go back to that Hurricane Milton coming through, we had rescheduled or rebought tickets for the second time to go to that Halloween party. And of course, that was canceled due to Milton. And we still could have gotten up Thursday morning because everything was fine here for us Thursday. And we were keeping an eye on what was going on down in Orlando to see if things were okay. We had a place to go and stay for 2 nights, with Chuck and Amy. And so we could have gone down Thursday. So that goes back to Thursday, mid-morning, Rhonda looking at me and saying, so what do you want to do? Which for me, the answer would always be go to Disney. But you are often the voice of reason.
Well, and I
So-
felt like I had to be this time because at this point he looked at me, and I don't know if it was this day or the next day. He was like, "Do you want to go Thursday and stay at All Star
Yeah,
for
the following week. Yeah.
all in for 150?" And I was like, "Sure." So, like I said, I don't remember the time frame on that because then I was like, "We're already going next week." That's and at this point, a week from today, and I was like, "That's that much more miles on my truck. That's that much more gas." Disney was not opening at all on Thursday.
No, not at all.
So, and then Friday, and then I had to work Saturday for my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, which is fine, but I was like, I don't know. I just was like, I think we just need to stay here.
We needed the break. You know,
I think so.
We had come off back-to-back trips and just a lot going on. We've got very busy holiday, you know, Christmas type season coming up with November, December. We've got a lot of trips going on. So yeah, we decided, and I had, unbeknownst to you, had this in the back of my head because I knew that my friend Kathleen was coming down, and I just thought, man, you know, we've packed in these 3 weekends in a row again because I thought we were going that Hurricane Milton weekend and doing the party and all that, and I was even thinking I just don't know if we'll get a chance to get down and see her. So when this came up, I was like, well, this is a great opportunity now. So we decided, I said let's look. We, you know, Amy and MEI-Travel were able to get us, I think it was either pass holder or Florida resident rate. Yeah, it was like 170 all in for an All-Star Sports for the night. For us personally, I think anything under 200 for the All-Stars still feels like a deal.
Yes.
It is hard when you can look at an endless summer over at Universal, and you can often get for less than that, they're 2-bedroom, you know, but I think we're, you know, usually the 175 and under, I will say, like, we'll just book an All-Star. We won't even look if there's an opportunity for an off-property or a Disney Spring, Flamingo Crossing, whatever it may be. So that's what we did. And I coordinated with my good friend Kathleen, who I'd not seen again in 8 years since our friend Phil passed away. And I went back to Maryland for that funeral. We had never met her daughter.
Nope.
Whose birthday is coming up, and that's where they were coming down for this
Happy
trip.
birthday, Ansley.
Yeah, and so I was like, let's go down, let's hang out with them for a little bit. This will be perfect.
Yeah, and so getting into today's episode now, I had a lot of questions that was going to be asked because I do all of this in research for y'all, and also my daddy has taught me it doesn't hurt to ask. You can either be told yes, no, or maybe. So there was a couple of questions I was going to ask. First of all was the the Halloween party, if we could get in. Now, here was the only reason I was really hesitant of going this weekend versus the last weekend. I was thinking if we would have headed down Thursday, it was open Friday Disney after Hurricane Milton, and I'm pretty sure that there was a party.
There was that Friday, yeah.
And I figured it would probably have been easier to get into that party than it would be this coming Thursday, which is what we are talking about now for today. And we decided to drive to the Magic Kingdom. We got up that morning, drove to the Magic Kingdom, and we were headed in. And instead of stopping before the ferry where you can get tickets there, and there was already signs out for sold out party for tonight.
Yeah, park closes at 6.
Yep.
Tonight's Halloween party is sold out, which we knew. Again, this has been weeks ago that all the parties sold out. And if you go back to our first party being canceled on September 27th, I spent over an hour on the phone. I ended up with a cast member, a manager who was very, you know, nice and sold us 2 tickets to October 10th, which was then canceled.
Correct.
So again, all of these are just, rest is sold out. And because they were all sold out, that is why Disney was just automatically canceling and refunding tickets.
Yeah.
You know, in the past, if you had something like this and there were still parties available, a lot of times they would have just given you a credit and then allowed you to either pick that or to say, hey, there's a credit on your account. Would you like to do Jollywood Nights? Because once they have that credit, first of all, it doesn't expire on your account. And it can be used towards any of these types of things. You know, we have seen Disney before on nights that maybe the party wasn't canceled, but it pretty much got rained out. So it still went on, but a lot of things did not happen. Parades, fireworks, stage shows. And they have sometimes put a 1-day park hopper ticket in people's accounts. If you're an AP, that doesn't do you a lot of good. You were able to call, because we had a friend do this, David, who called. They were able to apply that to another Halloween party. But again, that's when they were still available. So being completely sold out, you were pretty much out of luck. We do know that in the past, you could try to go day of.
Correct.
And see if you could get tickets. There were no guarantees. And honestly, from the people that I saw do that, it was pretty 50-50. Sometimes they could get tickets.
Right.
A lot of times they could not. It was flat out, sorry, it's sold out.
Right.
You should have done this. And it's a reason we say, as soon as you know you want to go to a party, go ahead and get the tickets as soon as you are possible. You know, I think when you're looking ahead to that type of trip, that needs to be a top priority as far as finances. When you're looking to budget that trip, I understand that you can say, well, maybe you're booking a package and you're putting your $200 down, and 30 days prior you've got to pay off the amount and all that good stuff. Those tickets you want to get as soon as possible. Yeah. I've seen far too many times that people have a week planned. They've got their trip, they've got their package, everything ready to roll, and then 2-3 weeks before, they're like, you know what? We saved the money. Now we can buy our party tickets, and they're sold out. Yeah. And that was one of the big things they wanted to do for that trip. So just get them ahead of time. Yeah. But
Absolutely.
Back to Magic Kingdom. We decided not to stop at the ticket gate.
We went over
at the TTC.
Yep. We went over to the ferry because we were going to go over to Magic Kingdom anyways, because I did have Jeremy, before they were gone, disappeared, I did have him screenshot that we did have tickets for the 10th. And then I went ahead and had him from our credit card statement show that we also had a refund from our prior ticket from Helene. So we went over there and got in line because, again, if you listen to the episode, they were selling Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party merch if you could show proof you had tickets. Well,
to a canceled day.
Right. We did not from the first one from Helene, but from Milton, I was like, I want to be able to be like, we didn't get to go not because of one hurricane, but because of two. Yeah. So I was like, I want to maybe even write, I just wanted a merch.
Yeah, you almost want we decided that if we weren't going to go, we wanted something to remember the year by. Same thing with all the people that got the 2020 ornaments of a roll of toilet paper, to be like, hey, let's remember 2020, even though it was bad.
Correct.
We still want to contain that moment in time and 100%. Go back and laugh on it. So that was kind of our thought of what we would do, is just, let's see if they'll let us get some merch, and then at least we'll have it. Yeah. But,
So we did go all the way over there, and we went ahead and stood in line right outside the entrance of the Magic Kingdom. And we stood in line, and it was neat because there was a cast member going around, and it's just all of the things that fall. I'm just like, holy moly, this was just the most magical day ever. So there was a cast member going around to people and asking for help, and she just somehow, praise God, kept missing us. And we got to go up to a window, and I walked up to the window, and Berlene was our nice, sweet cast member, and I was like, hi. I said, I know you have signs that say it's already sold out, but
at this point, I don't think you were counting them. I have seen 5 to 6 signs that the party is sold out. And including a large sign as soon as you're walking into the entry of the queue for the ticketing and guest services is a sign, sorry, tonight's party is sold out.
Right. So I was like, I know you says there's sold out tickets. I said for tonight's party, but I was just hoping if you had to, and I think this is kind of the words that were coming out of my mouth. I was very nervous. I don't know why. I was very shaky. And so I'm starting to tell her all this, and I'm like, and I have proof we were supposed to be at both parties that the hurricanes canceled. So I'm showing her pictures, and I was like, I'm like, we've come every year since pretty much 2016. And so she really is not saying much, and she just starts typing, and I'm like, she ends up asking for my ticket for today, and I don't even think I'm a pass holder, I just pull up my ticket and show her, and she scans it. and she's typing, and I'm just like, I don't know. And the next thing that happens is she looks at me and says it'll be $381 and some change. And I look at Jeremy and I'm like, it'll be $381. And I'm like, and I'm stuttering, and I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, how are we paying? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I have some cash, and I end up paying cash and card, and which is really cool that you could do that. Mm-hmm. And all of it at this point sinks in, and I start crying because I'm like, oh my God, we're going. And I start crying, and she's like, shh. And I'm like, let me put my sunglasses back on so nobody sees me crying. And I was just like, holy crap, we're going tonight.
Yeah.
And then I said, wait, tonight, right? Because all of this just did not sink in. And she kind of laughed and was like, yes, tonight. And I did have my Be Nice to Cast members hat on. Uh-huh. She did say she liked my hat. So, yeah, we got tickets.
She scanned our bands.
Yep.
Because they did never show up in My Disney Experience, but we had a receipt with them.
Yes.
And she had scanned our bands, said everything was good, so we knew we could come back that night. And I know
she said check-ins at 4, which I knew that, but still.
Yeah. Of course, we could get in whenever as pass holders prior if we wanted, but and you know, if you've listened to the show for any amount of time, you know how much we love the Halloween party. For us, it's such a tradition. Mm-hmm. You know, think of traditions that you have every year, whatever it may be, whether it's your birthday, it's a Halloween, a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, whatever it may be, whatever holiday, whatever it is, the start of something, like the things that you do every year that make that part of the year just feel something to you is the Halloween party for us. Mm-hmm. And so it was a big deal when we thought we wouldn't get a chance to go.
Yeah.
And if we didn't, life moves on, and we would have gotten over it, and we would have gone next year. All is well. But I think there was a certain part that both of us that kind of felt like, I can tell you, and maybe this just sounds childish, if she had said no, we can't, I would have been like, I totally understand, of course. Yeah. And we would have walked away and we would have been upset. I kind of think I would have come home and just been like, all right, let's put this stuff. Like, I would have just been done with Halloween at that point, to be honest. Like I said, that signifies Halloween to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you even go back 8 years,
would you have wanted to go to the party we went to last night?
We went to a friend's Halloween party. I don't know. I kind of would have been just over it. I mean, I would have gone because we said we were.
Okay.
And I hate to put together a Facebook invite myself of a party and have people say they're coming and not come.
Right.
Without letting me know ahead of time, because one, it might be somebody you're excited to see.
Correct.
2, you've planned usually something around it.
Right.
You know, as far as food, beverage, whatever it may be. So we were going to go regardless, but yeah, just to me, that's what really is our tradition every year for Halloween, you know? And so it's very
even
important
over
that
Christmas.
we go. Like, I can tell you right now, if on a Christmas morning, for whatever reason, we don't eat some form of a cinnamon roll or Cinnabon, like, that would break my heart for that day.
Yeah.
A week later, I'm not going to care. I'm going to get over it, but that's still something that you just are so excited for. And so it was important for us that we got to go to this.
Yeah.
And then I feel like even more so now, because we get to carry it on with the girls not coming. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we went 2 years ago with Arizona, you know, who was 6 or 7 at the time, I believe. And it was neat to see it through her eyes.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, Kathleen was going this night to the Halloween party this night. And I'm like, so I thought not only would we get a chance to go, we could then go, you know, again, with a good friend of mine, her daughter.
Right.
Who is 8, and that we then get to see it kind of through her eyes again. So, you know, I hope that however many years it may be, either the girls will decide, you know what, we'll go again with you, or we're taking our grandchildren. So it is just something that I think means a lot to us. Yes, I hope that's in a very long time that we would be taking grandchildren.
Yeah.
But so we were going to get to go. But let's get to the Halloween party in a minute. We're going to actually do where we're gonna kind of go through our day.
Yeah.
Because we did walk into Magic Kingdom. We walked in Emporium and we left pretty much, right?
We did
because we're like, let's figure out the rest of our day because everything changed. So I had reservations at Topolino's at 7 p.m. In my mind, we were not going to the Halloween party.
Right, mine either.
Now, part of that I purposely did because then I wouldn't be setting myself up for disappointment.
Right.
You know, we did pack something to wear to the Halloween party.
Mm-hmm, which I almost didn't.
Right, but I also packed something to wear to Topolino's that night.
Yeah, I did not.
So in my mind, everything I was thinking, all right, they're going to tell us we can't get into the Halloween party.
Right.
I know that Kathleen and them, because she had her sister and their family with them as well. I know that she told me they're going to get ready around 2 p.m. They're going to start getting ready to go to the Halloween party, and they're going to try and get over there around 4, which means that we have a very small window if we want to see them today. So
Right.
maybe we'll drive over to Caribbean Beach. We'll hang out for a little bit. They'll get ready. We'll go to our resort. We'll get ready. We'll go to dinner. What are we doing after dinner? What are we like? All that stuff was going through my head.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't going through my head. What do we get ready for the Halloween party? Because I really didn't think we were going. So at this point, I thought, all right, well, we need to do something. Let's figure out some lunch. The best bet I thought was, and there was lots available if I went to look at reservations. I thought, let's go to Disney Springs. There's a ton of stuff there. So we started to make our way there. I had been in touch with John Self, our good friend and food blogger. He was going to end up heading to Disney Springs. I was like, I don't know what we're doing yet, but we're just going to head over that way. Yeah. On the way, I was like, you know what? STK has this amazing lunch special. Let's go to STK for lunch.
Okay.
We sat down. I saw that John had arrived and he was checking out Gideon's. I was like, we're right around the corner, man, if you want to join us. So we were sitting outside at a 6-person table. So John came and joined you and I, and we had lunch with John as well, which was super nice.
Yeah, it was.
We love getting a chance to sit down with him and catch up. And we always, we talk all things, of course, food and Disney, but we'll talk life stuff. But he's so interesting to talk to, about just the food and situations in general. And it's neat because he has some great insight, just because obviously this is what he does for a living.
Right.
So it's neat to hear him, especially the stuff, and we'll talk about this on our live. We're not even going to get into Premier Pass. But I just thought he had some really smart things talking about the Premier Pass and so anyway, it was a great lunch. Let's talk about the food.
Yeah.
And let's talk about STK Orlando because we had not been here in quite some time.
Oh, it's been a very long time.
They have a fabulous happy hour, really good drink specials, really good food specials.
Yes.
But I want to say we have not been here since May of 2020 on reopening day of Disney Springs when we came.
Yeah.
We went at the reopening day and we went to STK for lunch. So that was over 4 years ago. I'm sorry, 4.5 years ago.
Wow. That's crazy.
So let's chat about lunch. First of all, beautiful.
Yes. Gorgeous Florida day.
Beautiful
Gorgeous.
weather right now.
So we asked to sit outside and she was like, it'll just be a 10-minute, 15-minute wait.
They had just opened as well. So, the outside was fully open, but you can't immediately sit 8 parties. You have to stagger them for the kitchen and the staff. So I saw them seat someone. And then, because we were right by the bathrooms just waiting, I saw them seat someone. A couple minutes later, they sat the next. A couple minutes later, they sat the next. And then we were about 4th or 5th in line. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we waited more than 15. So.
Yeah. So we sat down and beautiful day outside. And Jeremy and I both got a Heineken Zero.
On the menu.
On the menu.
It is the first non-alcoholic beer that I've seen printed on a Disney World menu. Personally,
I thought we saw one.
I don't think so. I've had to ask everywhere else, either O'Doul's or Heineken, and they tell us this one was actually printed. And they do have a special lunch menu.
I thought you found one somewhere else that was Heineken, but it was listed under the beers and stuff, and it was Heineken Zero. I can't remember where it was.
Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think this was the first because that's how this one was listed.
I know.
All right. We'll just have to go find it.
We will. We ordered one of those, and then we'll start with Jeremy's because John got it too. Yeah. They have a special that is a Wagyu burger and fries. So it's a 7-ounce beef patty, lettuce, tomato, onion, American cheese, special sauce, fries. You can add egg, bacon, grilled onions, or avocado. Those are extra prices for $3 up to $3.50. But your original price is only $9.99 for the special.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a very good deal, and Jeremy was excited.
Yeah.
So
I'll be honest. I think it is possibly the best deal on property.
Okay.
Food wise, and the happy hours aside, and actually, John and I discussed, you would be obviously included. of doing, because the happy hour, there's some really good happy hours for both food and beverage at Disney Springs.
Yes.
From the beverage standpoint, because John is not a drinker, we actually talked about doing a Disney Springs bar crawl, happy hour bar crawl, where we could not only partake in some of the good food, but we would also figure out what type of mocktails were available. So we're talking about doing that in the future. But outside of maybe some sort of deal at a happy hour or that magical dining deal,
Right.
this is unbeatable. A burger and fries on Disney property for $10
Yeah.
is unheard of.
Yeah.
Not only that, you're getting a nice basket of fries, or very good fries, and you're getting a hearty Wagyu burger. This is nothing special. It is a backyard classic American burger done to perfection. Is basically it.
Okay.
The only knock I would give this, now again, if you want that signature burger with the special bun and special patty or toppings or all these things, this is not it.
Yeah.
You go to Three Bridges, you go to Grand Flow, you go to Bar Riva, you go to all those other places, right?
Right.
This is just your standard burger. And it's done really, really well. The bun was my only complaint, and John said he thinks they've changed it since the last time he came. It was a little too bunny. Like, it was a lot of bread for everything else, but the patty, got it medium, was cooked
Nice.
perfectly. It was flavorful. All the toppings were great. I do think you could add any of these, the egg, the bacon, the grilled onions, or the avocado, and it would be worth it. Like, unlike you go back to my Grand Flow burger where I added the egg and
Right.
it just didn't need it.
Right.
This doesn't need it, but it could use it. Like, I could see going back personally and maybe doing bacon and grilled onions,
Okay.
or at least bacon.
Yeah.
But this is
Bacon
this
and
is-
avocado.
Bacon and avocado would be really good. This is just going to your friend's house and he's firing up the grill, but he bought the best ingredients.
Right.
He literally bought the best either burgers, patties that you could get from the local butcher, or he made them himself.
Okay.
He got a good bun from a local bakery, even if it is a little bunny. It's fresh lettuce. It's fresh tomato. It's just good American cheese. Everything about it.
Now,
I
your
got mine with
special-
special sauce on the side. I did put ketchup on mine.
Yes.
Because I just like that. I like a classic burger with ketchup. I would get this again and again. I would get this all the time. I think if you're at Disney Springs at lunchtime, this is a steal. They also have a $19.99 filet mignon lunch special that you can look at as well, which
Nice.
is another killer deal.
Yeah.
But bun aside, because you could probably even take a little off if you needed to, or hollow out the middle a little bit.
Right.
Perfect.
Nice.
I mean,
I didn't taste
literally
it
$10.
because mine
It was a bit more expensive.
well, and it was it was, but it was also the braised short rib quesadilla. So when I said that, the guy kind of was like, "Huh, hope you're hungry."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh gosh, why is it a lot?" And he said, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay." So
I said, whatever you don't eat, I will eat. If it's not right now,
Yeah.
it will get eaten at some point
yes.
today.
So I was like, "All right, then I'll just still order it," because I didn't want to leave it. So so this is Fontina cheese, tomatoes, chimichurri, a flour tortilla, and mustard cream for $25. Now, were there 3 of them?
There are 3 of them, and this is
But they are-
not quesadilla shaped.
No. So it is basically a flour tortilla rolled in braised short rib, and I don't think it was quote unquote fried, but
No,
maybe
it was like
grilled.
done on a griddle. Yeah, it was like done
Yeah.
on a griddle. So it was much
But-
more to me in between. Like, it wasn't the size of a taquito.
No,
This is like a fat taquito.
very
really.
large.
Yeah, and then
long.
not deep fried. They were big. It was almost like 3 miniature burritos. I mean, if you think about it. But
Yeah.
inside was just the short rib, tomatoes, and cheese, because you had the chimichurri to dip and you had the mustard cream to dip. Right? They were not within the actual little
There wasn't-
quesadilla-looking thing.
There wasn't tomatoes inside the.
Oh, okay.
There was
So
not.
it's literally beef and cheese, or meat and
Yes.
cheese, yeah.
And I want to
Delicious.
say, so I feel like it was not fried, but it had some crispy because I think because the oil from the short rib kind of like
Yo, they put it on that griddle.
Fried
It gave it a little crisp edge.
It was really good.
It was delicious.
It was
I had a bite then.
Yeah, so there was some little crispies on the outside, like because it was softer on the inside, so that went really well. The chimichurri was really good, but I feel like it was more parsley than it was.
Yeah, and it was real oily.
It was.
It was a lot of oil.
It was,
which
but it was
I mean,
good.
chimichurri would normally be made with like cilantro and oil.
Right. But I think it was
for the most part.
I think
Yeah, this might have been parsley based or something. I took one little bit of the chimichurri.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. I just didn't think it needed it because the short rib, braised short rib inside was so tender.
Yeah.
And so flavorful and so like juicy that it didn't need it all. I thought it was outstanding, and I thought we could have split this for lunch.
Oh yeah, we could have.
Yeah, you ate one whole piece, and those were 5 inches long and probably
I just started to say
inch
almost
to an
like
inch and a
comb.
half thick
So, yeah,
around. So it was
almost
a pretty
5 to
good
6
size.
inches,
3
yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
You ate at least 1.5 of them. I
Yeah.
finished one, and then we took one back to the room.
And you ate it
I
cold.
did eat it at 1 a.m. I would not recommend this cold because if you're used to any sort of like pot roast or braised beef, if you don't skim the fat off of it before you were to like put it in the fridge, that fat is going to congeal, and that's what this was. The inside ended up being like some of that cat food garbage they tried feeding us at the festival over at France that time. So it basically is just very shredded short rib and congealed fat. So I ate it because I was hungry.
Sounds disgusting.
But I would not recommend this cold. Now, if I had reheated it in an air fryer or even zapped it in a microwave, it would have been fine, but it was that congealed fat that was like, And their fries are really good there. I like their fries there a lot.
They are.
So we did follow this up, not with dessert there. Nobody will guess where I requested we go for dessert.
Jeremy now.
Even John was
Salt and straw.
laughing.
He was laughing very much.
We were sitting there. I forget. We was towards the end because we were waiting on the check because he had a gift card. And so it does take a little while because they got to take the gift card back and I think they have to get a manager approval every time.
Okay.
So it takes a little while. So we were just sitting there, and it got quiet, and I just looked at you and I was like, so we're going to salt and straw after this, and he just busted out laughing.
He did.
He could just tell I was ready for it, and he decided to join us.
He
Didn't
did. Yeah, that was super fun.
We got some new flavors, some fall flavors that I swear were not there when we were there 2 weeks ago. But John said I forget what he said now.
I think he
He's
said
gonna
every
ding
two.
me on this
I know.
one.
He said
I think he said no, it's once a month, but it's like the
No, I
first
thought he said
Thursday
every
or
2
something, or
weeks.
last Thursday or something.
I don't know.
Maybe it was, but they were
Anyway.
new to us. And I got a pumpkin
not-
head bread something.
I did
It
not
was
want
good.
what they had, so I got the cinnamon snickerdoodle,
Oh, it's so good.
but I got it with the pumpkin waffle cone.
Yeah.
And that was just fantastic. It was
Yeah.
just great.
I love salt and straw.
I was very full.
Yes.
So we were walking around, but then we were leaving because we were like, all right, we need to go get checked in so we can get ready for our party tonight. So we were heading home, or heading to I say home, but to the resort. And I checked my phone and I saw I had a missed call. And the way you can do your Apple phone, if anybody knows, you can miss calls where it won't ring you if you don't have the number stored in your phone. So just with the way I work and stuff, I can't have my phone ringing, and especially scams now and all this
I
stuff.
get 30 of them a day.
So I never when I look at my phone, all of a sudden it's like a missed call, and then I'm like, oh, well, what happened? And I look, and it was a 407 number, and I was like, uh-oh. And we haven't gotten our room number, and we were like, it is almost 3. Like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, we had checked in online.
Yeah.
Now that we had the Disney, we've said this before, it's a good reason to have a credit card even, is to do online check-in, because when they do the $100 hold, it will go to the credit card. It's not going to bother your checking account.
Right.
So now that we have a Disney Visa again, I have been checking in online, so the $100 hold just goes to the credit card. But yeah, normally we're very lucky with rooms. I mean, often we have rooms usually by 1 o'clock anytime we go.
Yeah. So we were just kind of, which we didn't need it. We were fine.
No,
but I
we
was
didn't
like,
care. We're just like,
golly,
no, it's ready.
I hope we have one when we get there, because we got to get ready now for our party.
Right.
So we go to check in, and Solomon was like, hey, come on over. I'll get you checked in. So he starts looking for our room. and he looks at Jeremy and he's like, when did you book this? And I'm thinking, okay, I'm like, wait, we have confirmation. We have and I'm starting to freak out. Like, do we have a room?
Well, to be fair, when we stay at the All-Stars, most of the time when we're halfway there, I have to look up which one it was because I don't remember which of the 3 we booked because we stay at them very often.
And we were
and
at
we
the
just
right
go for
one.
whatever's the best deal. We were at the right one. We were at Sports.
So,
that is where our reservation was. He said, when did you book? He said, did you book this recently?
That's what he said.
Yeah, it was booked 1 week ago.
Yeah.
He goes, okay.
So he then says, so we don't have any rooms, but we have upgraded you. And I'm like, I felt like it was like drum roll. Like I'm waiting, like here it comes. And I'm like, where's he going to say? And he was like, we've upgraded you to Coronado. And I was like,
I'm like, dude, you won't believe this.
Oh my gosh.
And as we were driving in, we passed Coronado and Rhonda said, do you wish we were staying there? And I said, well, of course. But at the same time, I was like, but, it's just one night. We're going to the party. It's not like we would get to enjoy it much. Right. But we told him, we were like, dude, I said, Solomon, like, that is our favorite place. And then I kind of told him, I was like, we're going to the Halloween party tonight. We had 2 of them canceled. And I told you this, and I do think this is true. I can almost say with 100% certainty that you and I are the only 2 human beings on the entire planet to possibly not only have 2 Halloween parties canceled due to hurricanes, but to then get the opportunity to go to a 3rd one. I guarantee nobody at that party that we went to that night had tickets for the previous 2 that had been canceled due to hurricanes. I just think mathematically, there's no way. Now, locals, it's very possible, but they would have had the fortitude, what is the word, like to go, first of all, and get the tickets for the 2nd party, which I spent on the phone and was kind of like an act of God to get them. Then would have to go and somehow secure tickets to a 3rd sold out party, which we did. So I do think we're the only 2. And then I said to Rhonda, if that wasn't guaranteed, I can guarantee we're the only 2 people who had 2 parties canceled, got tickets to a 3rd one, and then got upgraded to Coronado. So we were special.
That was it. Was just incredible. We were
insane.
like, oh my gosh.
There's like, are you serious right now? Like we're real. He's like, a room. He said, you're going to head on over there. They'll be waiting for you. A room will be ready. On the way over there, we got the alert that our room was ready. We could go straight to our room. We didn't have to go to the front desk or anything.
That was so great.
We went straight to our room. We were right there in Casitas 4.
Yep.
Which was so funny because we were getting on the elevator and I think you had the same moment that I remembered back to November of 2019 when Gary and his family had come all the way over from Scotland. And it was the first time we went and met them in person. And we all stayed in Casitas 4. And I remember getting onto that elevator with them.
Yep.
And you could remember that exact moment.
100%.
So it was really cool just being in that building again. And of course, just being, we didn't get to enjoy Coronado a lot. We did on checkout morning. We went down to Barcelona.
Yeah.
We got some coffee and I got a little egg and, what was it? Egg, ham, and cheese inside a croissant like sandwich thing that was pretty good. But it was just like, first of all, we got these tickets. We never thought we were going to go to the party. Second, we got Coronado. And then third, we go to the party and get there and we get all checked in. And we're walking through the Emporium and we hear someone call our name.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Aaron, who we have known for so long now that he's watched our girls grow up from Coronado. He's now at a different resort, and we have not seen him in probably 6, 7, 8 months maybe. It has been quite some time. And there he is in the Emporium, sees us, and we stop and chat with him for like 15, 20 minutes. It was just like those 3 moments were like, what is, like, this is amazing. And we still had the whole Halloween party to attend that night.
We did.
And I don't think we need to go by second. I mean, we did the preview back before the party started. We gave everybody all the layout. But, we can talk about a few things. You still got, 5 dates left? Actually, I think 6 is November 1st as well. So the 24th, 25th, 27th, 29th, 31st. And then I believe there's one on November 1st.
Oh, okay. And then they switch over.
Do the Christmas transformation. Well, let's talk about merchandise. How did you feel about the merchandise. Now we had seen it. Now we actually got access to buy it.
Yeah.
And we did pick up a few things, right?
We did, but there was not a lot this year as there has been in the past.
I kind of liked it.
I did too.
It was simple.
I did too.
It was simplified. There wasn't a million things to pick from.
But you know what I was shocked at? The actual Spirit jersey was out for anybody to buy.
Yeah, but did you? I think they must have had a billion of them.
They must have.
I saw them on racks everywhere.
I did too. And I was like, oh, they just trying to get rid of them now.
Yep.
And I mean, again, to be fair, 2 canceled parties, like that's a situation where I would want something,
You're right. I mean, I don't know, obviously, the amount of merch they're selling in a night, like quantities, but think of having 2 more of those nights
right
now available. Now, I will say this. I really like the Spirit jersey. I can pretty much guarantee I'll get it at Character Warehouse sometime over the next 6 months. Probably for $20 or less.
Yeah.
Because they tend to be anywhere from $30. A lot of times they'll go to $29.99 there. But I got the Hocus Pocus one from last year for $13. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that. But I got a pass holder t-shirt.
Yeah.
Purple, what would you call it? Distressed or acid wash?
Probably acid washed.
Pass holder.
That was cute. I like that one.
What'd you end up getting? I'll be honest, that whole night is almost a blur.
Really?
Because I think I was just like because it wasn't supposed to happen.
It wasn't, and we were there.
Yeah. Like I went back this morning thinking about recording this episode, and it did start to pop in my head like, oh, we didn't see that, or we missed that, or we didn't catch that, like the cadaver dance.
Yeah.
Like, did we even walk through Frontierland?
Yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we went over to get, and we'll talk about the food in a minute, but the spicy beignets.
Oh, yeah.
It was just one of those nights where I hate to say it like this. I'm super happy we weren't working like fully for y'all, as far as in like trying to get a whole bunch of information.
Yeah, we really just wanted to enjoy our night.
We did. Well,
and we spent most of the time with Kathleen and her family and all. I mean, so.
But like you said, you have like 6 dates left.
Yep.
And they're all sold out.
Yeah, so we can't give you much more than you don't already know.
Right. So with that being said, we did. We just we got some merch. We got a pen. I got the mug for coffee mug.
Yeah.
And then we got an ornament.
Yes.
So that was super cute and super cool. And then this is also one of the questions I was going to ask when they told us we could not buy a ticket, which that's what I expected, and they did not. But I have seen from DCL Cruise Line the Stitch popcorn bucket. I think it made its way, correct me if I'm wrong, over to Disneyland.
I believe it did make its way to Disneyland.
And it was premiering at Disney World on October 15th. And
so we were hoping to go to the second party that it was going to be.
Correct. And I was going to ask, and Jeremy was like, we would not get one. But hey, I was planning to ask, like, I would be buying tickets tonight, but you tell me I can't. So can I at least buy the bucket?
I don't think that would have occurred.
But I didn't have to because we were there. So we actually got in at, 5:00 pretty much?
Yeah, somewhere around there to the park, yeah.
So we were just like, again, I think still in shock, like, oh my gosh, we're here.
Look, we're here.
So we went through and we were trying to find where he was going to be. And I actually asked a cast member, and we were over by Tron and Space Mountain, and he was standing there, and he said, we're actually going to be starting at 6.
Yeah.
So 5:45, we got in line, and they started pretty much right around there. And yeah, we were done with our merch and our Stitch popcorn bucket.
By 6 o'clock.
By 6. And then we had the rest of the night.
It's the best popcorn bucket ever.
Oh my gosh, I love him so much.
It is so good. Like the size,
too.
the
big.
detail. We also picked up the Mickey this
we
year,
did at
which
the very
has
end of the night.
the jack-o'-lantern. Yes, the jack-o'-lantern, because we have the skeleton one and we have the mummy one. This is the
Jeremy's
third year,
like,
so I'm like, we gotta get it. And those are amazing. This Stitch one is so good. And so I was surprised they are filling him with popcorn and handing him straight to you.
Yes.
We have seen a lot lately where sometimes they will say, do you want popcorn in it or not?
Correct.
Or they just flat out we've done, I think it might have been Pumbaa. They handed him to you in the bag.
Yeah.
And then just gave you the little cardboard thing of popcorn.
Yep.
Popcorn is a weird treat, I decided.
Why?
How did that come about?
What do you mean?
Who decided they would take this kernel of corn and then violently explode it to see if it was something they could eat?
I don't know, man.
That tastes
It
like
probably
packing
happened
peanuts
on an
on its
accident.
own. You think how do the popcorn kernels get that way? Because it's off. Do they have to dry them? Do they dry them out or something from corn? How
I
do they
don't
do
know,
that?
man.
Whoever named it was spot on.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
Well,
But then they pop it, and then somebody ate it and was like, "Hey, we should have this at movies." And someone was like, "That's great. What does it taste like?" And he said, "It tastes like packing peanuts." And then the other guy,
and then they put
I assume that this was like Orville Redenbacher and then like his sales guy, right? That he took this to. And his sales guy was like, "Okay, well that doesn't sound really good." And then Orville was like, "Well, don't worry, we're going to douse it in liquid butter." Mm-hmm. And that's what will give it its flavor. But at the movies, we're only going to put it on the top layer, right? So all the other popcorn underneath, packing peanuts. That top layer, though, that's going to be loaded with butter.
Okay.
And popcorn, you get to enjoy more than once because you're going to get all the pieces stuck in your teeth.
Wow.
And then you're always going to get that kernel in the back of your throat.
Yeah, that's true.
And you got to go,
Ew.
it's the only way you can get it out.
Gross.
And then it's gonna dislodge at some point, and it's gonna shoot across the room, and you'll never find it again.
Ew.
Right? And then, just to make it even more, I have a really good idea now. Make it even more fun. We're gonna put these in a paper bag, and sell it to you at home, and you can put it in your microwave, and then you can pop and have fresh popped popcorn right at home.
But anyways,
You know how long that'll take?
3 minutes.
Nobody knows. Sometimes
it'll
it's
burn.
3, sometimes it's 3.5. Sometimes you just press the popcorn bucket on your microwave, but it still is too long. Because if you go 1 second over, I'm pretty sure the bag will catch on fire.
Okay.
And that is my pitch for popcorn.
Anyways, I will say these were some popcorn lines were very long. I feel like all night long.
Yeah, and the sipper, we met up with Victoria
Yep.
to watch. Why do I keep getting the fireworks and parade backwards?
We
watched the fireworks
you
at
poor
10.
thing.
I could not keep track of the times.
It was. I think poor Jeremy. It was not funny, but it was so funny. I
didn't mentally prepare to
I
go
don't.
to the Halloween party.
He
So I
was.
had
He was
nothing.
not.
I had nothing.
So he was like
Until I got the guide, like
yeah.
a regular person would
Yeah.
show up to a party with doing
did.
no research.
Yeah.
I showed up and I was like, I know these things exist, but I don't know what time they're at. So I actually looked at the guide. But then I formulated a plan from there. But Victoria said she waited, I think, 2 hours for the mini sipper.
which I wasn't sure I really wanted that.
I wanted it bad, but I was like, we got to stop. We got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Because what I'm hoping is that next year we're both hoping there is another Stitch popcorn bucket and he is wearing a different costume. Mm-hmm. Right? My fear is there's 2 more sippers that could come out to round out the Sanderson sisters.
Right.
Which means now we would be 3, like we would have to get the other 2 if that's the way they do it. Not having the first one, I can get by.
What? So if we get the other 2,
No, I'm saying that's why we didn't get the mini Sanderson sister, the mini Winnie.
Right.
Because if they come out with the other 2 over the next 2 years, then we have to get them. Now we don't. So I
Right.
just saved us money.
Okay. Good.
See how that works?
Yeah, I am. But anyways.
But yeah, there were some lines for it. But it appeared as though they had plenty of them.
They did because they
What
ran
did they
out
not
of
have plenty of?
popcorn.
They ran out of popcorn at the end of the night.
They did. We were in line for the
Plenty
Mickey
of popcorn
one.
buckets. That's the crazy part.
Yep. And
Yeah.
she said it, and I think it was a situation where, like, I think they would have still sold the buckets,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah,
if
you
you
just
were
weren't getting
if you were
popcorn in it.
looking forward to getting popcorn, you weren't getting
Yeah.
any.
We had a
so
lot of popcorn.
We did, which was great.
All its packing peanut goodness. We did do some trick or treating, but not
We
a ton.
did. We did.
They are still. I mean, it was a cool night, so melting wasn't really
Nope.
an issue.
Nope.
But there's still lots of chocolate.
There was. Super good,
we stopped at 3 or 4 places, I think. Again, the way we've always treated the trick-or-treating is if you go past it and it's convenient, we stop.
Right.
We don't seek them out.
Right.
We did some attraction. We did Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
We did
awesome.
Peter Pan.
We did.
Right? What else did we do? We did some other rides. Did we not?
Ariel.
Okay, we did Little Mermaid. Did we do Pirates? Yes.
Yes,
Because they don't
because
have
that
the live
guy was
actors or
there.
anything.
They
right?
did not. That was sad.
They did Haunted Mansion, though. They do have the kind of comedy duo that's out in the
Yes.
graveyard outside.
That was amazing.
So that was really cool. What
we
else
didn't get
did we
any
catch?
magic pictures, which I
No, we
wanted.
did not get any magic shots.
So
That's one. Seeing the cadaver Dans, I just felt like we kind of ended up missing. But what we did do, so my original thought was one of the villain spectaculars was at 9:15. So my thought was, like we always do, and we said this in the preview episode, and this is what we recommend. If you're going these last 5 or 6 dates, this is what we recommend. Go and get a spot in the hub area. It's a really good spot. And wait it out. What order you do them can be a little different the way that we ended up doing it, but you can catch the Villain Spectacular, you can catch the fireworks, and you can catch the parade without ever getting up. And you can catch all of them basically within about a 2.5 hour window. So there isn't a ton of waiting around. We got over there about 9:10, and it had started at 9:05, the Spectacular.
we were walking up, and then because this is where you were wrong again, and it was just I was just laughing all night
I was
long.
like, I thought this was 9:15, but it was 9, but that was fine.
Yeah.
So we waited there, and then we
Watched
saw
it.
Victoria. She came, Kathleen and all came, and we we stood and watched the fireworks.
Yes.
At 10
so
o'clock.
we finished the Spectacular, and then we were just hanging out and gonna watch the fireworks. So we did, and then everybody sat down because we thought we were waiting for the parade next, but there was a Spectacular in between that.
10:35.
Yes.
So that would have been the perfect timing. Is
Yes.
showing up. And I would still show up around 9:15 because that's the time we showed up, and we got a wonderful spot here, like one of the best spots we've ever had.
Yeah, but then when everybody left for because we stood and watched the fireworks, and they were fantastic.
Yep.
And then a lot of people like left.
They did.
And
we sat and watched the whole Spectacular show, and then we got to sit and watch the parade.
Yep.
Which was amazing, right there in the hub, and we were looking dead on as the parade comes from the Liberty Square Sleepy Hollow section. So we're looking at it dead on, and then our right, the parade's left, it cuts to go around the hub. So that's where we were, and we were front of row there.
Yeah, because
basically, against
Ansley
the
was.
tape line. Yeah.
And then
It
there
was
was two
amazing.
ladies in front of us, but it was amazing because, like I said, everybody sat the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was just.
It was so nice.
It was so nice.
It was so good.
It was just amazing.
Well, let's finish.
I loved it.
Let's finish the party with a couple treat items. We did not end up again. Everything was so thorough. We did not end up going to Pecos Bill to get their specialty savory dishes, the burger and the masa flatbread.
Right.
But we did decide to go to Golden Oak Outpost, and we got 2 of the Halloween specific items here. Right.
Yeah, and I think the reason we didn't, for me personally, is because we did have a late but big
We did.
lunch.
Yeah.
Very big.
And I had already
And
eaten
I'm-
several pieces of candy at this point,
Yes,
and I
you
didn't
did.
want a meal. I ate a lot of candy
And
that
I'm-
night.
I'm the type of person, because of the way I work and stuff, I usually only eat one large meal. So when I eat a large meal on a weekend with Jeremy, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and this was because we had our coffee in the morning. So this was like 1 or so o'clock, and I just was like, I'm done. So we did eat some sweets, and we did go to Golden Oak Outpost because they had a chocolate caramel tart, which is chocolate tart shell filled with chocolate ganache, caramel sauce, and caramel cream topped with Twix cookie bar pieces and a chocolate piece. This is available only during the party. So they also, available only during the party, had sweet and spicy beignets, which is a berry and cayenne dusted beignet with chicory coffee chocolate sauce. I did not like the chocolate sauce. but I really like the berry and cayenne dusted
It was
beignets.
good. Yeah.
Like, they
I
were
didn't get much
fantastic.
cayenne or heat from it.
I got a tiny bit.
Very tiny, but it was
But I
very
tasted-
good.
yeah, but I
the
tasted the
chocolate
berry.
wasn't like a chocolate sauce. It was almost like a fudge. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't dip it, and it was too fudgy.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem like a lot of thought went into it, but I thought the beignets were excellent.
Yes, they were.
And you got that berry. It was like a berry sugar. Like you would almost get on like just say a fruity margarita rim or something.
Yeah.
If they did sugared rims with like a flavored sugar, they were so good.
They were.
What did you think of the chocolate caramel tart?
I liked it, but why don't you talk about it?
I don't think you want to hear me talk about it because you're going to roll your eyes.
Oh God, are you going to say this is the best thing on property?
This is the best dessert I've had on property.
Oh, there it is,
I
folks.
think honestly it overtakes the almond cheesecake at Narcoossee's, which I think was the best dessert on property. And again, and here's how I like to present things sometimes, Rhonda. I'm not saying that it's the best. I'm not saying it's the best as in my favorite or the best, whatever. It is so perfectly composed. Let's say that.
Okay.
Like that almond cheesecake at Narcoossee is a perfectly composed dish. Like to me, that cheesecake is something that on like some sort of Food Network baking championship cooking show would like take it all home because every note is perfect. And I think that's what this chocolate caramel tart did.
That's fair.
Creamy. It
was
had a
good.
crunchy tart. It had those
It did.
pieces of the Twix.
It did.
Like everything about it was just perfect.
It was really
perfectly
good.
composed.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I loved it, and I could not get enough of
No,
it.
you couldn't.
And I hate that it's only available during the party. I would
Should
get
you-
this
should we have gotten
again
one to
and
take
again.
home?
I think we should have. I don't know how it would have lasted or anything, but it wouldn't have made it home.
No, that's true.
Seriously, this is my favorite dessert I've had on property. Sorry, folks. Sorry, almond cheesecake. You have been uprooted. Let's talk about the Jack and Sally Pops real quick. The Sally Pop we did have last year.
And it's
it
the
has
same.
that raspberry filling. It's the
so
same.
good.
Kathleen got that and ate it. For her daughter Ainsley, she did get the Jack Pop, who she did not want.
Poor thing.
I
She
know.
did not.
Yeah.
This was funny to see it through her eyes because she ended up Kathleen met up with us in the middle of the spectacular. So Ainsley kind of saw that. So she legitimately fell asleep on Kathleen's lap when we sat, and she let her sleep through the entire Villain Spectacular and the entire waiting until when the parade was coming. She woke her up. So it was cute to see it kind of through this. But yeah, she said her stomach was kind of hurting. She just needed to rest, the poor little girl. So she didn't want the Jack Pop and was going to throw it away. Both of the Sally and the Jack is at the Sleepy Hollow stand, and they are both during party only.
Yes.
So I asked Jeremy, because this one was a Jack Pop is a chocolate fudge brownie with marshmallow filling topped with a chocolate piece.
We were not reading the description at the time we ate it.
No.
I thought it was cake. Now it makes so much more sense that it actually is a brownie when the Sally Pop is a cake.
Well,
So it makes much more
I'm gonna
sense on the
say-
consistency and the fudginess of it.
but it did still taste more cakey to me.
Yes, it did.
Just
I thought it
a-
tasted more like cake, but had a consistency of a brownie, right? Is how it would.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't
Okay.
have to say it.
I'm
I
like,
didn't-
I
I didn't
don't
mean
know.
to say right. That was
I-
my opinion.
So
and it's correct in my head.
I have not eaten. I believe they have them at Christmas. The chocolate Christmas trees. Do they have
I don't
chocolate
know.
ones?
This tastes like a Little Debbie snack treat
It
of
did.
some sort. Yeah,
That is my
actually
point.
really enjoyed it.
It was really good.
I had a first bite and I was like, I don't know.
The reason.
And then it's one of those where you're like licking the plate at the end.
Yeah.
You're like, I really liked this.
Yeah, it was super funny because the whole reason we didn't get it last year was because it's chocolate, and sometimes it can be too much. But the Sally was fantastic because it is a yellow cake with raspberry filling topped with a chocolate piece. And I remember that and I almost wanted to get that to take it home. but we didn't. And since she didn't eat it, right before she was going to throw it away, I was like, Jeremy, do you want it? Because I kind of still at this point didn't want it. And then when he tasted it, I tried it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of almost like, I feel like a Christmas tree, but in a chocolate formation.
It's got that
so good,
that kind of chocolatey outside
so
and
good.
that more denser cake brownie filling with a little layer of like icing between it. I really, really enjoyed it.
I did too.
And I didn't think I would after the first bite. And again, I just stopped saying that I don't like any, like I for so long I was like, well, I'm not really a sweets person. I don't really like chocolate. I like all those things.
I just started to say,
love them.
You cannot say that.
I had so much candy that night. I should have been. I think I said to you at one point, I'm going to eat until I'm ill. I ate so much candy. Let's move on. We're gonna wrap up. We did go to Animal Kingdom the next day to meet up with Kathleen and everybody. To give ourselves a little bit of a day till they had a late lunch at Yak and Yeti. So we were there about 10-ish. 10:30.
Yeah, because we slept in
3:30 or something. We did sleep
home,
in. Yep, I ate a quesadilla.
It was 1 a.m.
I ate a congealed fat quesadilla.
Gross. It was 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And so we were sleeping in, which was nice because we did. And then we were meeting up at Animal Kingdom around 11-ish. So we went down to Barcelona, got us some coffees, and Jeremy got a breakfast. And then we drove over to Animal Kingdom, and we ended up doing 3 things on our own for food-wise, and then we just hung out with them for a little bit, which was fantastic. Did Everest and a couple of rides, but so we went to Trilo Bites because we still talked about the buffalo chicken chips, and we were trying to get back to, the things.
Yeah, like things like I have mentioned the buffalo chicken chips to someone at least once a month for the past 7 to 8 years since we had them. For all I know, they were horrible now, right? So we thought, let's try them again and make sure I wasn't a liar all these years.
Yeah, you weren't.
So what are the buffalo chicken chips? You can get right there for as long as we know. As long as Trilo Bites stays open through the destruction of Dino Land. I don't believe this was included in the original January 17th closings. So this should be, it's on the outskirts there as you're going to go underneath the giant skeleton dino, not Dino Nip Dino.
Yes.
Enjoy them while you can, people.
Yeah. And this is house-made chips served with buffalo chicken and blue cheese dressing topped with a tomato and celery relish for $9.79. And it is exactly what it is described as. Yeah. And it is fantastic.
It's outstanding.
You do need a fork or a spoon, I feel like, but this
very
is
messy.
It is, but it's so good.
It's great, and
so good.
It's another one of those things that is just done very well.
Yep.
There was buffalo chicken dip at the party last night, but
yes,
I feel like it's starting to lose its 15 minutes of fame. I remember there was a time you couldn't go anywhere without there being buffalo chicken. Like I was sick of it.
Yeah.
Like you would go to a party and there'd be 7 of them because that's what everybody would bring.
Correct.
It's
super easy though.
It's super easy and it is super delicious. But at one point I was like, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
But this is like that. It's like that buffalo dip on top of these house-made kettle chips. You've got the blue cheese dressing in there, and I love this finely diced celery and tomato.
Yeah.
The celery gives it a nice crunch, and it gives that classic buffalo wing celery flavor. So I think they're still great.
Yep.
It's a wonderful snack. If you ate it as one person, you could treat it as kind of like a midday meal. Like if you're having a big dinner or you had a big lunch and you want something lighter for the other meal, this could be something you could do. Pumpkin chai cupcake is currently available at multiple locations throughout Animal Kingdom.
Nice.
I saw this posted earlier this week. I believe somebody I saw had shared it in the WDW Radio Facebook group, and I responded and said, that looks like a lot's going on. Because this is a pumpkin spiced carrot cake, a white chocolate chai tea mousse, a mocha buttercream. If that wasn't enough, it's got a caramelized apple filling in it for $6.29, and this is 3 feet tall. Maybe how tall is this thing?
Not.
It's a big dessert because
tall.
this is dessert on dessert.
It is. It is a mousse pumpkin. It is a
The mousse
pumpkin
is a pumpkin.
Yes.
It looks like a pumpkin on top of an entire cupcake.
Yes.
So it really is a big dessert.
Yeah.
Right? What did you think of it?
So there's something with the inside. There's something that tasted a little coffee-y.
Mm-hmm.
And I if you could take that away, this would
Is
have...
that mocha buttercream?
Well, mocha's a chocolate.
Isn't mocha? But mocha's a chocolate coffee, isn't it? Are they the same? Are they different things? Mocha is
mocha latte. Mocha
is
is
like a chocolate latte, but
latte is where you get your coffee. So anytime I think of mocha, I just think like you could have a mocha hot chocolate, which would be a...
But that would just be a hot chocolate. It would be
Right.
a hot mocha?
Right. So I don't know.
So it has no coffee tendencies within the mocha itself.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
But it tasted coffee-y to me.
Had a little hint of a coffee.
And I did not like that part. Other than that, this was fantastic. Everything. I really loved the carrot cake because I didn't get like pieces of carrot.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the white chocolate chai tea mousse.
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic. The caramelized apple filling in the... Like, if you could take away... And I tried to get... Because I couldn't taste the coffee all the way through. So I tried to get like one last bite. But it was really good. And you loved it and wish we'd have taken this home
This
too.
is the best dessert. No, I'm kidding. This was so good. And it is a lot going on.
It is, but it worked.
It is a lot of flavors, but it works. Here's how
the
I will
coffee.
describe it, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
This is all your favorite Thanksgiving desserts with your after-dinner cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Just all in one. It's comforting. It makes you feel good. And if it was just a pumpkin spice carrot cake with the mocha buttercream, it would be delicious. If it was just the white chocolate chai tea mousse pumpkin-y thing on top, it would be delicious. Like you actually could have those separate, but they put them together.
100%.
Amazing. I loved
It really
it.
is.
Let's move on to... So did you know this has been around since October of 2021? It was brought out during the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. After the 18 months that ran, this stayed on the menu here, but we just found out about it. We've never even walked up to the Drinkwalla stand.
Okay. Correct.
To be honest, I'll tell you why. They weren't serving vodka. I mean, to be honest, there wasn't much reason for us to ever go to that stand.
Right.
We were walking through and I was like, I could go for some sort of flavored beverage because I don't drink caffeine. I can't just grab like a Diet Coke or something or whatever. So I'm like, Drinkwalla, what did they have? Maybe they have something like, I'm thinking of the Glacier Freezes that are at the Candy Cauldron now. So like, let's go up and let's take a look. What do we see on the menu, Rhonda?
We see a hand-dipped Mickey's Premium Ice Cream Bar. Blue raspberry flavored coating and dusted with sprinkles for $7.29.
Paint the folks a picture of how this
What
is
they do
assembled.
is they pull out from the freezer a Mickey's Premium Ice Cream Bar. They open it up. They take it out. They dip it in this blue raspberry coating, and then they pull it out of that and flip it over and over and everything to get it completely coated with the sprinkles, and they have it in a little boat and they hand it to you. And this thing was fantastic.
So good.
So good.
Take something I love and make it better.
Yeah.
And that's
it
what
really
they
did. Yes. I mean, because when you have a standard Mickey's Premium Ice Cream Bar, it is just amazing. You love it. It's fantastic. But just like Jeremy said, sometimes you can take something and then try something and it's not good. But it is just like you said, it is just take something that's great and wonderful and make it better.
Yeah. I loved
So
it.
how
I'll get it
else
again.
do you think?
Well,
that they
I think
could-
this should be a thing. I mean, honestly, I really do. Whether you just had it at, I could see this going the route of the Joffrey's cookies.
Okay.
Where maybe at each park there is one of these hand dip Mickey's premium ice cream bars with its own flavor, maybe to that park, or you open a shop at Disney Springs and it's nothing but hand dipped premium ice cream bars in different flavors. You could dip one, just say, in like a marshmallow sauce, and then put graham crackers on it to stick to it, and you've got a s'more ice cream bar.
Right, and I was gonna say
peanut sauce, right? And then crushed peanuts on top or something like that. What kind would you invent?
I was gonna say what's really cool too is you have all these different holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
You could do a red sauce for a cherry or a raspberry, and then have Christmas sprinkles,
green sprinkles,
or something where I mean, I feel like they could capitalize on this hugely.
I agree.
So
so there it is. We will just need 25% steak. Would that be enough? I think that'll be good. And I don't need a controlling. I don't want to come up with any of the. I'll be the flavor guy, I'll give you ideas for the flavors for them, and then I will eat them.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what I think about them.
Okay.
There it is settled. Mickey hand dipped Mickeys coming soon. And so you just be called hand dipped Mickey.
That has a lot of
because
gray
then
area.
Okay. But then you could even come out with different and this is the only place you could get them is different flavored bars. A peanut butter ice cream with a chocolate coating, a chocolate ice cream with a white chocolate coating that you could get only there. They could still be dippable. So you could have 4 or 5 base flavors that you could just get them that way if you want. But then each of those flavors could be dippable. You can either come up with your own combination of sauces and toppings, or like most places, there are ones that they've already created, like a s'more one, a Christmas one during that, something with pumpkin, like whatever it may be.
Okay.
Mickey's hand dipped. Instead of hand dipped Mickey's, can you put the Mickey's in front of it? You sicko. All right.
I wasn't like that. I mean,
you said there was a lot of gray area.
Yeah, because
what's the gray area in hand dipped Mickey?
But, what kind of Mickey is it? The Mickey's premium ice cream
bar.
Right,
but what do you think they're dipping?
What if they took
do you think that you're going to walk in Mickey Mouse?
Yeah.
Why would they take a Funko Pop Mickey and dip it in something?
I'm just saying that's a lot of gray area.
But you think that somebody let's talk.
What if it's a marshmallow?
But
what if it's a little Mickey marshmallow?
That is more fair.
But that's still gray.
But do you think that if somebody
walked
if it's
up a Mickey hand?
Hold on, like the wax ones, those freak me out, man. You think somebody would walk up and they'll go, "What is this hand dipped Mickey place?" And then somebody would go, "It's got to be Funko Pops." Even marshmallow, I don't think would even be in the top 5 thoughts, but that's actually a good idea. A Mickey shaped marshmallow that you could dip in different stuff. Okay, so do you think ice cream needs to be in it? Ice cream bar needs to be in it?
Well, yeah, because that's the whole point.
Dippin' Mickeys. How about that? I'd like that name, Dippin' Mickeys.
Okay. Again,
what else do you think that? Do you think it's a Funko Pop still? What are you dipping the Funko Pop in? Chocolate? Edible Funko Pops. That would be neat.
That'd be weird.
You could get, they'd be made of chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you could fill
exactly.
them with stuff.
So, I mean, there's just so many.
Okay.
Like Disney's so imaginable.
Dippin' Mickey bars. Does that help?
Yes.
They're not bars of gold, Rhonda. Don't worry about that. And they're not bars like in a rap song. All right, or on a jail, or what other bars are there? It's not. There's not alcoholic beverage. You could probably have an alcoholic version though, kind of like the boozy beignets. So here's an idea for a boozy dippin' Mickey. You could still, with a syringe, insert into the Mickey the ice cream portion some sort of liqueur, right? Then do your dipping and your topping and all, and you could do a boozy dippin' Mickey. The sky's the limit
That'd be
for
weird.
dipping Mickeys.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the merch. You got to come up with a really good logo.
Oh, like they did for the mint should be an ice cream, but it's not.
Yeah. We would have that there. We would have a mint ice cream bar, Mickey bar with the chocolate. But then what would pair well with that? Because it's already got mint and all in it. I wonder what would go good with that.
I don't know.
We'll come up with more ideas. But you could turn that one into a mojito boozy dipping Mickey.
Okay.
Oh, this is genius. All right. If you want to hear more brilliant ideas like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And if you are ready for that next trip, of course, no matter where you want to go, our trusted partner, MEI-Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today. And of course, as long as you're out on the internet, you are subscribing, you are booking your next trip with MEI-Travel, we would be super thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.